I want to talk about business partnerships because both of you have been candid about the fact that you don't see eye to eye all the time, but you've been able to work through that. And I think women specifically have a hard time with separating business and personal, and or have a hard time seeing the bigger picture where they are able to process the emotions but still get shit done. And I think the both of you have been able to do that. So what is your advice for those who are seeking partners in business? What should they be looking for? What is the assessment process like? And also, what do you do when shit hits the fan?
I mean, shit hit the fan for me with another business partnership. For me, what you should look for in a partnership now, like what I've learned is to really see what your partner is strong in. How do they do business?
How do you know that?
So that's what I'm saying. You have to know before you get into a partnership.
Oh, no, that's a good question, though.
So to me, there would be, and maybe not just jumping right into business with a partner at all. I don't know. I'm to the point now where everybody getting a 1099. I don't know if I'll ever have a partnership again without just paying someone outright for whatever they're doing for me. However, I think whether you take a test, whether you really see how they navigate where they're at now currently, whether they have a job, do they show up on time? What is their role at that job? And maybe actually having the conversation. What do you really like to do? What things are you strong in? What things do you absolutely hate? I think those conversations aren't had enough with partners to where you go into a partnership and it's split 50-50, right? So you assume we got to split this work 50-50. Well, that's not realistic. That just absolutely is not realistic. And it's not going to happen that way, especially if you're unaware with the shortcomings or what the strengths are of your partner. And so you have to go in knowing that. I also would highly, highly recommend not to go into business with a friend unless you are willing to lose the friendship, the business, or both. I think, and that's where when there's a strong friendship or when someone maybe wants the grace of showing up less than the other person, they lean more into the personal relationship. And so I feel like that's where it gets muddied when there's that dynamic between personal and business, because a lot of people, it's hard to separate the two. And so if someone isn't showing up in business and you're talking to them, they're going to take it personal as an attack, knowing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I would advise not to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what helps.
I feel like this is a little too fresh for you, buddy.
I think that was.
I didn't expect you to be here, man.
Wait, was that not
I lose it. The pressure.
Yeah, it's like, fuck that. Don't partner with nobody.
But you know what's crazy? I've been actually saying that. B. Simone and Meg from the Know For Sure podcast literally sat in front of us and they loved each other on the couch. And I was like, ooh, I really hope that this stands the test of time. And that show ended as well. Like, there's a lot of public breakups that we've seen from the music industry and trickling down, especially in the entertainment space. Mm-hmm. And we don't know all of the breakups with everyone in business, but you can look them up. I know Adidas, there was a split. Apple, there was a split. Nike, there's been different changes. Right. It's really hard to maintain a business and keep a personal friendship.
I would say on the other side for me, Mandii and I haven't been buddy friends since we were early 20s. So, yeah, it's easier to be more diplomatic.
With us, yeah.
When I made WTF Media, Alex and I were at the point where we're hanging out every day, right? Now, we're born one day apart, and I believe in astrology and Pisces emotions. We've gotten in one big fight with the studio a year ago? Maybe 2 years ago. And he said something in the fight that shocked me. He and I didn't talk to each other for like a month. And no one knew, none of the staff. We were kind of getting a little weird with each other, but basically, it was a completely emotional fight. And I don't believe you can separate business and personal at all. I think that the thing about entrepreneurship is that you're not working for a corporation. So because you're not working for a corporation, you're supposed to have some feelings and some emotion and some compassion. Like maybe, I don't know, 3 years of doing WTF Media, I've had 5 times an employee ask me for money early than their paycheck time. And every single time I've given it. Because to me,
same.
What the fuck is the perk of you working for a small business that can't help you when there's probably shit you're doing that's a little bit extra, but it's a small business, so we're figuring it out. So anyway, with Alex, in this fight, remember we came to LA, we talked, we were in the studio together, and he's like, yo, I'm so mad, I'm so tight, like, that we're going through this issue that I don't need this studio. I don't want to do it anymore. Like, I don't want to make another one. I don't want to work. I don't want to keep working. And I was like, wow. That let me know, like, yes, it is tied together. You know, like, you do have to have some sort of, not even friendliness more than, I don't even want to use the word respect. It's more of like a...
It's definitely respect. I think there has to be respect for each other.
I think you can respect someone and it has to be semi-friendly, like a camaraderie almost. And you have to be excited to do this business because even if there's respect there, you've still got to be able to speak to each other, got to be open. Like, it's dead ass emotional. I don't know if you can really separate business and personal.
She a Pisces. I ain't that emotional. My feelings can be cut the fuck off. It's black and white with me.
She is lying because
She's
I've
such
been hearing
a-
her chit chat, and I don't know, girl.
Mandy, whenever you get mad at me, in the last 2 years, I would say, your reasoning is a very emotional one, which I'm open to listening to because that's the language I speak.
Cap. That is cap. Oh, that is cap.
Don't listen to her.
Y'all
If
don't
anyone
listen to
listens to
her.
Whoreible Decision on here, you see how Mandy be
That's
crying?
cap.
Mandy,
Cap.
girl, please, you emotional. But I would actually say my one thing for partnership advice, Will Smith, Mandy and I actually were both there.
Yes.
And it's crazy. So I'm there. Mandy was there. It was a Bad Boys screening. And it was with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. So very lucky to be there. Alex and I got invited, but Mandy was also invited too. Will Smith mentioned...
Separately, because you know I got my own invites.
Like, it's okay. Anyway, Will Smith said something about him and Martin. And he was like, oh, he knows how to make me look great. I know how to make him look great. And he said, we surrendered our egos.
The surrendering of egos.
Alex is sitting on my left. Mandy's down there towards the right. And I literally was thinking like, wow, that is something I've had to practice a lot. In the podcast, it's different because you shine, you're doing your personalities. But in the studio specifically, I have to be wrong a lot because this technical shit I don't know. And I have to be honest when I'm not right. I have to really not feel like I'm not worthy. The sweat equity that we've poured into this business is very imbalanced because when we're building a new location, I really don't do anything but find it. This is his job. However, when we need to do partnerships, pay bills, pay employees, do anything, invoicing, I feel like he don't know how much the lights is. And that shit used to bother me sometimes. But I got a lot of nerve saying that when it exists because you built the shit together. So it's acknowledging the strengths and knowing that, oh, I really can't do this without you.
See, she said the same thing I said, just differently. Acknowledging the strengths and the weaknesses of, and I think that that's very important in partnership. Like, but you're aware.
But you can know someone's done something and have a chip on your shoulder about it.
Yeah.
You have to
know how to communicate.
You have to really be able to celebrate someone's strengths.
Yeah.
More than belittle their weaknesses.
Agreed.
If someone's not good at something and it's been a while, maybe
see them for who they are.
Yeah. Like, it is what it is. I've learned that about myself. I've learned a lot of my own flaws that I've had to accept. I'm good at a lot of shit and I'm bad at a lot of shit. But surrendering the ego, that's Will Smith, not us.
Yeah.
So what about this partnership in particular has allowed for the both of you to not be like, fuck it, I'm walking away from
no, that's been said many times.
I'm sure it has been said.
To me, I say it all the time.
Happened.
When we specifically, even when we go on tour, our brand, while it's, yes, very salacious, very wild, very raw, we've actually changed lives, believe it or not, by sharing our stories. To me,
it's a lot of sexual education
and liberation.
And giving women permission to explore themselves and embrace themselves.
And so to me, every time we've gotten upset with each other or, felt like this was the last straw, we don't want to do it anymore, we've realized that what we've created is actually bigger than the both of us.